Hello and welcome to the Black Cat Bushcraft channel. Today I was out walking around in the field and I came across some nice pieces of quartz. So I thought I'd break those down, see if I could create some usable pieces to achieve fire through flint and steel ignition. Stick with me, let's give it a shot. Just to show you what this stuff looks like in the field, you can see it's very abundant in this little area here. And some of the pieces are as big as my fist and larger, and some pieces are quite small. And occasionally you'll find some that's already broken, maybe where a plow has hit it and exposed sharp edges. But most of the time I just choose to break it down for myself to expose a fresh sharp edge to work with. But most likely if you have this stuff in your area, it'll be very easy to find, as it's normally pretty abundant, I think, in areas where quartz is. So definitely a resource worth knowing. So here's a really good example of two pieces of quartz that I picked up within 10-12 feet of where this camera's sitting right now. It's very simple to process this. And just take one. This piece actually looks to be a little heavier. One is a hammerstone. And I'm just gonna hit it against the other. You can see how that broke. And that exposed several sharp edges. That right there is razor sharp. And then of course on these pieces right here, very sharp. If I use my fire steel, show you that. And in this sunlight, I don't know if you can see those sparks, but it's throwing really good sparks actually. Yeah, really good sparks. So I've broken this piece in half here, and I'm going to try to break it down a little further just to make it a little more user-friendly or easier to put in my kit. Right, so now I've got a little bit more of a flat shard here. This has sharp edges all the way around this piece. These are really sharp, so this would be a nice piece to put in my kit, and I could improvise a blade out of that, honestly. The only problem is the edge don't stay sharp for very long, but you can get many pieces off of something like what I have here. All right, so just to break it down a little further, just that little shard there. I got a lot of pieces out of that. This right here is really fine, really thin, very sharp. I got a couple of nice pieces there. Still can break this down a little more. Try one more. So the piece on the ground didn't break, the piece that I hit it with broke. Again, I'm getting some nice sharp edges there. That's all that I need to make a spark. All right, so in a very short order, you can see what I've got here. And I could definitely process some of these pieces down further, like this big piece here and also this piece. But they already have very sharp edges that would be easy to use with the fire steel. This is one of the pieces I really like best. It has very sharp edges and it fits my hand really nice. Just fits perfect right in those fingers like that. This piece is one of the ones that has the most sharp edges, so definitely that will make a great rock to use with the fire steel. And some of these other smaller pieces are extremely sharp and would be good for maybe scoring meat, especially when you're separating the hide from the meat. This would probably be good to get down in there with. Something even small like this you could use for helping to separate the meat from the hide. And if you had to use it to process down meat, you could probably do it. It definitely wouldn't be as effective as your knife. And you can definitely use something like this for processing down materials, like removing bark. A piece like this fits in your hand really well, and it does a great job of removing bark. You can see in just a very short order how I'm exposing those fine fibers. This would be great for processing down tinder, especially on a piece like tulip poplar, something like that. But this makes a great scraper, and it'll be excellent for processing down materials like that for tinder. All right, so it's a fact and not just a theory. I picked up some dry material here just out of the field. I didn't process that in any way, just picked up a handful. I've got my piece of quartz here that I just broke open and a little piece of char. And I wanted to see if I could achieve that ignition. Go. It's pretty windy out, so I'm going to put that out real quick. So there you have it. Quartz and steel work great together. All right, so you can see it's a pretty simple process to break this quartz down to create a usable tool. Whether you're trying to improvise something to cut with, or you're creating a scraper, something that you could use to process down materials, you could even use this to scrape the meat out of the inner part of a hide if you wanted to use it for that. And of course, as I showed you, you could use it in conjunction with a fire steel to create sparks for ignition. You could even use it to drive sparks off the spine of your knife if you have a high carbon steel blade. So it's a very useful resource, and it's definitely an important one to know. I hope this is helpful, and I definitely look forward to talking to you with another video again as soon as possible. And until the next one, take care and God bless.